Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to part 3 of my Aki Kaurismaki season. And we're going to talk about Shadows in Paradise from 1986. Again, this is from the Curzon Artificial Eye Kaurismaki box set, which has a ton of films in it. This film is from 1986, after Calamari Union. This is back to a colour film. The print is lovely in this box set. It's Kaurismaki almost doing a rom-com, but it is Kaurismaki we're talking about here. So it stars Matti Pelonpää, which I've probably butchered his name, and Kati Outinen. So Matti Pelonpää plays Nikander, who is a garbage man who lives in a fairly run-down apartment. Pretty much everybody so far in Kaurismaki films lives in a run-down apartment. There's wallpaper peeling off the walls, strangely enough, because that's usually where wallpaper is. And in this, there's shots of the wallpaper that Nikander has obviously sellotaped to stop it falling off. I mean, there's a real sense so far in the 3 Kaurismaki films of, you know, this is not an opulent society he's showing off in 80s Helsinki. So he's a garbage man. His associate that he works with has dreams of making his own company and spending his life behind a desk rather than cleaning up garbage. And Nikander has a fairly quiet life just in his apartment. His colleague drops dead one day while they're delivering the garbage, and he comes across this girl in the supermarket and he asks her out. They go on a date to a bingo hall, a fairly run down deadpan bingo hall. Everybody's fairly miserable in this film. Again, it's that deadpan humour which you're either going to like or you're not going to like. I don't think there's any middle ground with that. And she kind of walks away, she's not interested, and then she gets fired from her job in the supermarket. She steals the money box, but again, this doesn't turn into a Bonnie and Clyde crime caper. It's much more low-key than that. So it's like romance, but it's not the Hollywood idea of romantic comedies or romantic films. It's a lot more low-key. They kind of cross paths. She stays at his apartment, she doesn't stay at his apartment. Not a lot happens, because again, this is about character and Kaurismaki really playing with the aesthetics of the genre of romantic comedies. Again, music plays a huge part, not only seeing fairly run-down bands playing, but obviously the score is very jazzy, again, as in very jazzy, very bluesy, as in the first 2 films of the series, of his career, this video series. There's still lots of moustaches and bad mullets, because it is still the 80s after all. Nikander drives an old Rover. Again, you really get a sense of the run-down aspect of these people that Kaurismaki is showing. Again, so far he has made films about people that have kind of fallen through the cracks, people that other filmmakers don't really make films about, whose stories are still valuable and interesting. There's also nods to cinema, which is, we've seen that in the first two films of his career as well. At one point, his new friend that he meets after he spends a night in jail, they decide to double date and go to the cinema, and the film that's playing is The Good, the Bad and Ugly, or that's the poster that's outside. So he's always got, you know, film references going on, and so far in the first three films of his career, and music plays a huge part in it. And again, so it's just him playing with the whole rom-com setup. So they fall out, they come back together, they fall out. You know, she gets a job in a clothes shop, and then the boss kind of wants to have a relationship with her. She has rejected the candidate at this point, but she still wants to be with him, so it's all that kind of stuff that you get in normal romantic comedies. And again, Kaurismaki is playing on that. I mean, personally, I didn't like this film as much as Calamari Union, because again, generally films about relationships, no matter how kind of Brissonian in this sense and anti rom-com that they are, still don't really interest me that much. It's still a very good film. It's really enjoyable, especially, well, certainly Calamari Union, and this one, both the kind of dream escapes for characters is going to Estonia. I don't know whether Estonia in the 80s was deemed to be this amazing place, or whether it's a symbol just for getting out of Helsinki. I'm not quite sure. And there's a wonderful line delivered in English near the end of the film, which put a smile on my face as well. So it's a really good film, but again, I wasn't really engaged with it as much as Calamari Union, which is the odd film so far out of the three, but that's the one that I've enjoyed the most. But that probably tells you less about Kaurismaki's films and probably more about me. Yeah, so let me know if you've seen Shadows in Paradise, what you think of it, where you rank it in Kaurismaki's work, and hopefully you'll join me for part 4 of this Kaurismaki season. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films saying farewell.